Down in the dusty little town of Willow Creek, where the sun beat hard and the folks worked harder, there lived a mechanic named Jack Tanner. Jack wasn't just good with engines. He could fix anything, from a busted tractor to a flickering porch light, faster than you could blink. The townsfolk relied on him, but the big shots at the local auto shop, run by a slick guy named Vernon Hayes, couldn't stand him. Jack's knack for solving problems made their overpriced repair jobs look like a rip-off, and they hated him for it. To make matters worse, they loved picking on Jack's daughter, Ellie. "That girl's got no sense," they'd sneer, especially when she started turning down their offers of fancy gadgets in favor of old, beat-up tools. See, Vernon had this habit of showing off. Every few weeks he'd roll into town with a truck full of shiny new stuff, chrome-plated wrenches, electric drills, you name it, and let the kids pick something as a gift. Most of them went wild, grabbing the flashiest gear they could carry. But Ellie, she'd wander over, tip her worn-out baseball cap and pick something rusty, a chipped hammer, a dented screwdriver, something nobody else wanted. Vernon laughed. The other kids called her Scrapyard Ellie. Even Jack's buddies at the bar would rib him, saying, "Man, your girl's sweet, but she's got no head for what's valuable." One scorching afternoon, Vernon decided to settle the score. He strutted up to Jack's garage, where Ellie was tinkering with an old motorcycle, and said, "Hey, kid, why you always picking junk? You too dumb to know what's worth something?" The crowd around them chuckled. Ellie didn't flinch. She wiped her greasy hands on her overalls, looked Vernon dead in the eye, and said, "Those shiny tools? They're pretty, sure. But they break in a month and you're back buying more." "This junk?" She held up a battered wrench. "It's been fixing things since before I was born. And every time I pick it, I learn how to make it work better. That's worth more than your handouts." Vernon's smirk faded. Ellie turned to a rickety shelf behind her and pulled down a crate. Inside, dozens of refurbished tools, polished, sharpened, and humming with life, plus a stack of spare parts she'd salvaged. "This is what I've got," she said. "You keep your fancy stuff. I'll stick with what lasts." Jack, leaning against the garage door with a soda in hand, didn't say a word, just grinned like he'd won the lottery. Word spread fast. Soon, folks started bringing their broken gear to Ellie instead of Vernon's shop. She'd fix 'em up with her junk and send 'em off running like new. Vernon's business took a hit, and the townsfolk stopped laughing. Turns out, Scrapyard Ellie wasn't so scrapyard after all. People love to judge you by what they see on the outside, your clothes, your choices, the stuff you carry. But real value isn't in the sparkle or the price tag. It's in what you do with what you've got. Ellie didn't need the latest gadgets to prove her worth. She took what others tossed aside and turned it into something lasting. So, when the crowd's pointing fingers and calling you out, don't sweat it. Keep your eyes on what matters to you, and let your work shut 'em up. The ones who laugh loudest are usually the ones who miss the point.